Hi, welcome to RezoBiz for the very first installment of the People's Choice series that we're getting ready to do. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of wood here that are going to make up the back and the sides of the guitar that we're going to build. I'm here building, or I'm involved in getting ready to build this guitar, and I don't even know what I'm building because it's up to you. You're going to decide. I'm going to give you the choices, and at the end of this video, I'd like you to decide what one you would like. The one that chooses, the wood that's chosen the most is the one we'll go with. Hi, I'm Byrl with Byrl Guitars, and welcome to RezoBiz, where everything is greater with a resonator. So I've got this piece pretty close. It's been run through a planer, but it's still got some deep scratches in it. We'll see if we can't get it just a little nicer so when we wet it, it'll look a little bit better. So I'm going to run through the stages of sandpaper real quick across this one piece so we can get an idea what this walnut looks like. This is a very beautiful piece. I got to plug it in. Alright, I got this finished up in just about, I got a little bit more to go in 320, so I went 80 grit, 180 or 150, 220, 320. The smoother you sand it, the more you can see the color. So we'll wipe it down here in just a second, and we'll get a feel for what these colors really look like on these. All right, here we go. I'm going to show you 3 things. First the look, and then I'm going to try to get a tap tone on each one, although they're not the right thickness, but just to know there is a musical sound to this wood. And then the effect, I'll maybe talk about the effect each one has. Here's number 1. This is the hackberry. I guess a little history on it too. This one come from Indiana. We actually took this tree down last year, and it was in a kiln. It was in the last video actually. I just was drying it with the Hot Rod series guitar we did last year, and this would be the sides. So this is number 1. And this is what it looked like last week in the video. This is unsanded. These are the 2 sides. It's just been run through the mill. It's got mill marks in it. And this has been run through a planer. The spalting in this spalted hackberry is just phenomenal. And then I would say keep in mind, once it's got its true finish on it, the more you sand something down, I mean, there's only so much, how far you can go with it, but you get it sanded down, and it's like it brings out the color in it. So it's only down to, well, I don't know, it's planed, but I have to take it down real fine, and then we put a finish on it, and depending on what finish is on it, we can really pull that color out of that. So there's the top. Here is what's potentially the back, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to wipe this down, and I'll show you a couple ways this back could be. This is a little sapwood on the edge. There's the look of that. It's still got some saw mark stuff in it. Let's see. This is a little cleaner, I think. And there's a lot of your color you're going to have in this. 2 ways we could do this guitar. One, we could put the back together like this, and put your, here's our template. We could, it gives you an idea of where everything would be and how this would look. So there's that way, or I had a note on it. Now I'm imagining a back strap right down the middle of this, but I had a note on here that I actually, before I planed it off, that, what did I do here? That I like this better with the sapwood in the middle. I didn't mean to do, I feel like I got something backwards. There we go. All right, sapwood in the middle. Sapwood is the wood towards the edge of the tree, closest to the bark. And then imagine a dark back strap through the middle of this. And I hope you can see that well, but that would look, yeah, I still think that's my favorite way to do it. But it's not up to me, it's up to you. And that's only if you choose this piece of wood. So this is number 1. Let's look at number 2. All right, this would be selection number 2. The number 1 was the hackberry. Number 2 here is a special, I've never built with this wood. And it, oh, here's the other piece. This is not totally, it still needs some planing down or thicknessing. I just got it close. This is butternut. So it's like a type of walnut, but don't let it trick you. This is not the same density and tone as walnut would be. So this is definitely a lighter wood. Let me wipe it down so you can get a look at what this would look like. Not terribly intense on the figure. Now, if you saw my other video, I did a little demonstration of what the black locust looks like, just natural. And then I added some black and it kind of wiped it off, and the black got in the pores, and we could do brown or black on this, and this would be phenomenal. The grain would just pop. And if you want to see what that black locust really looks like with like an enhanced grain thing done on it, go to my website, byrlguitars.com, and look up the Hamby guitar. That is one of the prettiest guitars I've done. That black plain locust, it had a pretty look to it, but once you did the grain enhancement to it, it really popped out. This butternut, and I need to back up a little bit, and I'll show you the tone of the hackberry over there. But you can just hear that that tone, and let me see if I can find the. Depends on where you hold it. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear a bell tone in that. This is closer to the density, the lightness of this would be closer to a mahogany. That's kind of how I would explain it. Again, I can't say it sounds like that because I've never built one. This is number 2 set, butternut. So that's your second choice. Let me give you a little tap tone. Really, this is a denser, higher pitched, not like the black locust, not like rosewood. Black locust reminded me of rosewood. It's kind of a little thuddy. I hear a little bit of a tone in it. I would say it's not as musical sounding as the butternut. And both of those I've never built with before, so we'd be experimenting with either one of those. All right, number 3. This is a special set of walnut that I've been saving for, I don't know, maybe 5 years now. I've had this, and I've sanded this down pretty good. Let's see let's pull out some color of this thing. Now, so there was butternut like walnut as far as it has these nuts that come off of it. The size of walnuts, and they're kind of square, where this is, this is black walnut. There is different kinds of walnut, but this is a really really pretty set. History on the butternut that we just did is, I got it from a mill in Indiana, but I don't know where it really came from. This one was cut. I cut it on my own mill in Indiana. And this is a really pretty set here, or it's going to be. Something special about these sides is that there's a little bit, again, they have to be sanded down quite a bit more, but there's just a slightest bit of figure in these, just the hint of a flame in this walnut. Walnut does that all the time. Walnut can be completely flame, it can be beautiful, but there's a little bit of flame in these sides. So here's your walnut. Little test on. Oh, it's definitely. You can definitely hear music in that thing. So there's number 3. Our test on that. Number 4. Set number 4 is Birdseye Maple. Let me wipe this down. This Birdseye Maple is a little special. I've been saving this one for a few years. How long it's been cut and dried, I don't know a lot of the history on this one. I bought this one as a set, and I didn't really look into the history. The neat thing about this, of course, you know what Birdseye Maple has the little spots on it, but this also has a light quilting in it. This is a really, really pretty set of Birdseye Maple. In fact, I had Birdseye Maple sides and top, sides, back, and top for this, but I ended up using the top for a Brazilian cherry that my son and I are doing. Then here's the back of it. And so you've got that. Oh yeah, I hope you can see that as good as I can. And then it'll be a nice book match set. And that flame, there's some, not flame, but quilting comes in an angle right there. This will be a neat sounding guitar. A little bit of the tone. It's maple. I mean, it's got a bell tone to it. High, very dense sound. Maple's not so unknown. In fact, in dobros, maple's a very common sound. You want a high volume guitar. Loud, real punchy, maple's the direction to go. You want to record with it, not so much the way to go. I would say this is going to be in between your maple. This dark black walnut will be in between your maple and this butternut. This butternut to be closer to a mahogany. If I would guess, this is going to be a good guitar to record with. The black, or the Spalted hackberry is not quite as dense. Well, actually, I bet it's similar to the walnut. So it's not going to be as dense a sound and loud as a sound, I don't believe. And again, I'm telling you what I believe it's going to be. I don't know, because I've never built with those. I've built with walnut, and I know that it's not quite as loud as a maple. So I know maple, I know the walnut, I don't know the hackberry, and I definitely don't know the next one. Number 4 is the quilted and Birdseye Maple. And lastly, number 5. I've always wanted to build with this one. This is a third one that I have never built with. You say, why are you putting so many you don't know about out there? Well, I'm giving you options of stuff I've been wanting to build with for a while. This has a real nice brown streaks in it. It has some coloring of that black locust. Again, the Hamby guitar would be a good way to reference the color that you could end up with this, because you still do, I do the shadowing and shading when in the waist, because it's dobro, it's what we do. Don't have to. I can leave it natural. It's up to you guys. But there's the color of the sides. Here's the back on this one. Doesn't have to be. That's interesting. Doesn't have to be, but the and we can put this in together this way, or we can put the sapwood in. We got a half and half look. I can cut some of it out. We have some space to work with, and I could shorten it up a little bit, so there's not so much sapwood in it. But put the sapwood in the middle. However you want to do it. Here's the look of this. Number 5, Black Limba. I think I'm saying it right. Black, that's how I always read it anyhow. Black Limba. And I've got for this, I think I'm getting, there it is. I have for this a top and a back. And the top worked out, it's got some like wormholes in it, but where our cone and stuff would go, it would get cut out. But that would be a real pretty guitar. You could do we could do a maple top on this also. It doesn't have to be the Black Limba top. Here's the top that you could use. You see, it's got a little bit of, well, this is the size of a guitar. Dobros are smaller. That's the other way I worked around this. I guess I thought it was going to get in the way in other spots, but it's actually not. But there's a real possibility for a top for it if you wanted to keep it all Black Limba. Hoping you can see that. This has a density. It's bright. Very. It's closer to. It's going to be the tightness of the grain of the maple is totally different. This has a very open pore feel, but it's very. It's a. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear the tone coming off the edge of it. Sound like it's I hear the low tones and I hear a bright tone to it. It's similar. It's similar to like a rosewood, but it's not as dense. It's not that tight, but it's I think it to me feels like it's a little bit more tighter than and brighter than what a walnut would be. So that's the only thing I can tell you, because again, this is another one I haven't built with. All right, one last time so you get it. There's your hackberry. It's number 1. This is your butternut. The dark lines could be darker. It could be beautiful. That's number 2. Number 3, let me get a little bit more. I'm using lacquer thinner because it evaporates really fast, but also it evaporates really fast. There's our black walnut, and it's got a beautiful grain to it. It's number 3. Number 4 is our Birdseye Maple with a very light quilting to it. And number 5 is Black Limba. You're building it. You choose. All right, so it's the people's choice. You choose by placing your vote, what you would like to see in the comment section below in the YouTube post or on Facebook. And then the one that gets the most says, you know, this is the one I like. That's the one we run with. If you liked it, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and stay tuned for next week as we'll be choosing the top for the guitar body that we have chosen.